going to have a look at the national identity exam question on page 50. I've given you a 5 and 10 marker here, so that's not a mistake. This is from a previous AS paper, and we're using this to draw out how to do a 15 marker on national identity. So national identity has previously come up, but it's come up under an AS paper. So with national identity, the way that I start this one is I start off with a definition, which is unusual because it's trickier. So a national identity is a person's sense of belonging to one state or nation. It is represented by distinctive traditions, cultures, and languages. So a national identity is a person's sense of belonging to one state or nation. It's represented often by distinctive traditions, cultures, and languages. We are taught our national identity from agents of socialization who use processes of social control to do this. The exam board always want you to tell them how we learn, and we always learn from agents of socialization via processes of social control. The quicker you can get to showing your understanding of that, the better. So that's my kind of little definition. These are a bit more unique in terms of the agents. So one agent of socialization that teaches a national identity is media. Media use more informal processes of social control. Sorry, my colleague's just come into the office. One agent of socialization that teaches a national identity is media. Media use more informal processes of social control to teach us traditions like you know the words to your national anthem. And they use processes like repetition, criticism, and deliberate instruction. In the item, we can see that waving a Union Jack is a sign of, so waving a Union Jack at the Olympic Games in the item, we can see that waving a Union Jack at the Olympic Games is a sign of respect. The media will use repetition to show that this is a key part of our national identity. So in the item, the only bit from the item that links to a national identity is the waving of the Union Jack at the Olympic Games. That's all they give us to help us. But I've noted that media will often use repetition of this image which shows that that's a key part of our national identity. So media uses repetition, criticism and deliberate instruction, will use repetition to teach us that waving our national flag is a key sign of respect and part of our national sense of who we are. So as part of our national identity, we must learn the words to our national anthem and sing them. If a celebrity did not follow this social norm, they would be subject to criticism. How rude. And given an instruction. Sing the words and show some respect. Yeah. Sing the words and show some respect. This teaches that as part of our national identities, we must sing the anthems proudly. So one agent that teaches the national identity is media. They use more informal processes. So they'll show repetition of waving flags. And as part of our national identity, we arguably should know our national anthem and sing the words. If a celebrity did not follow this social norm, they would be subject to criticism, so how rude, and given an instruction. Sing the words and show some respect. This teaches that part of our national identities, we must sing our anthems proudly. So one key part of a national identity is to know your national anthem and to sing them. A second agent of socialization that teaches a national identity is education. Education uses more formal processes of social control, like inclusion, rewards, include, rewards, and negative sanctions to teach aspects of our national identities, like you should know or you should recognize and respect your national flag. So flags are normally tied into a national identity as our anthems. For example, teachers may criticise or frown. Remember, a frown is like a negative sanction. May criticise or frown when a student cannot recognise the Scottish flag. So, teacher may criticise a student and frown if they cannot recognise the Scottish flag. So you should know this. This teaches students that as part of our national identities, is to recognise and respect our nation's flags. Sorry. Okay, so part of the national identity is to sing the anthem, is to know and recognise your national flag and treat it with respect. You could give an example, for example, in the US, where they salute the flag every day. So they use repetition, obviously criticisms if you didn't stand up and salute the national flag. I'm kind of keeping mine in more United Kingdom based. So my third agent, in a AS paper, you need 2 paragraphs, which is what it says there. But in an A level, you will need 3 for top band. So a third agent that teaches a national identity. A national identity is family. And family will use informal processes. They will use informal processes to teach language as an aspect of our national identity. So flags, anthems, and language are tied into national identities. They use processes like imitation, role models, and rewards. To teach language. For example, if a child hears their parent speaking Welsh, they may copy. As a result, their father may smile and say, "Well done." This encourages the child to embrace aspects of their national identity and continue to learn and speak Welsh. I think I've done quite well on the kind of United Kingdom there with Scottish, Wales and Britain. But yeah, so those are the aspects of a national identity: language, flags, and national anthems. I've used the item. I've got 3 agents, 3 processes in each. But more importantly, with these very narrow questions, I know the aspects of those identities. So if you can just ensure that's written for me on page 51, as it's important that you know your gender, ethnicity, age, and national identity. Thank you very much, folks.